Good morning to all my dear children. I hope you are absolutely well. Once again, I'm here for today's class. So, welcome to your English class. Let's begin. Dear children, it is rightly said that language is the roadmap of any culture. Language has immense power. It has the power to create, the power to destroy, the power to unite, the power to divide. And if language is so powerful, isn't it important for us to learn how to use it wisely? And for that, we need to have a good language skill. Dear children, a good language indeed has a number of characteristics. Of those, one very important is that it should be quite appealing and captivating. It should be attractive, it should be charming, it should be graceful. And how can we add that grace to the language so it becomes even more effective? Well, children, for this, let me start sharing something with you, which will make this even clearer. I remember when I was a child, once my mother called me, saying, "Oh dear, the apple of my eye, come here." And I was just confused. Why is my mother calling me an apple? I am a human being. So why am I addressed as if I am a fruit? That particular day I could not understand. My mother only smiled and said, "Dear, you are very close to my heart." And I said this, don't take it literally, it is just a figure of speech. I remember one more occasion when my aunt, out of fun, in a very amusing manner, said my uncle that how much do you love me? And he said, "A lot." She said, "What can you do for me?" And he said, "Anything. I can take bullet or meet me." And as soon as he said this, my aunt took a pistol out and pointed at his head. Now he was shocked. Then he said, "My dear, don't take it seriously. It is just a figure of speech." It was then I realized that what often is said is not meant. And this is the beauty of a language. Yes, we use language literally and we use it figuratively as well. And so, dear children, today's topic is figures of speech. Let's begin. As students of English, you learn how to use language. You learn the art of expressing yourself in the best possible manner. I always say, for your answers also, that it's not only the content that matters in your language paper, it's also the way you present yourself. That means what and how are equally important. And therefore, to add grace to your language, and next time if you want to make it even more effective, use the figure of a speech. So here we go. What is figure of a speech? A figure of speech is a word or phrase that has a meaning something different than its literal meaning, which means that such use of words or phrase which actually has a specific meaning, which is very much different from its literal meaning. Just as I gave the example of apple of one's eye. Well, here apple literally does not mean fruit. It means someone who is very close to you, very dear to you. So apple of one's eye is an expression which has a specific meaning. So next time don't confuse as I got confused. In short, you have to remember certain things about figures of speech, that it is non-literal in sense, it evokes imagination, and it builds a mental picture. And if it does so, definitely your language will be effective. Dear children, of the number of figure of speech that we have, we are going to do a few today as part 1 of your class. Okay, so let's begin with simile. I hope it's visible to all of you. Simile. There would be instances, or there would have been instances earlier where you may have heard someone saying that, "Oh, her cheeks are as red as snow. Or look at him, he is as black as coal. Or some other expression as such. Or maybe she looks like Cinderella. Well, or he is like a lion in the battle. A number of them. Dear children, yes, as is clear, as is evident, a comparison is being made when we do such use of language. So this figure speech simile is based on comparison. Two dissimilar things which are entirely different from each other are compared. Now the question is, if they are entirely different from each other, on what basis are they compared? Then I have to say, adding one more point to, you can say, the definition in a way of simile. Not definition exactly, what is a simile? So that is, a simile is such a figure of speech where two objects or two dissimilar things or any two person, anything like this, they are compared on the basis of one quality that is common. Okay. So this way we see that comparison is done on the basis of one thing that is common between the two. For example, the examples are given: apples are sweet like candy, the apple is as green as grass. Well, apple and candy are two entirely different things, but they are yet compared. You know why? Because of this one quality which is common, and that is their sweetness. Second example, apple is as green as grass, the raw apple of course we are talking about. It looks as green as grass. So we are comparing these two entirely different things, apples and grass, on the basis of their appearance in terms of their color, that is green. So this you understood? Yes, comparison between two dissimilar things, maybe anything, okay, but with the use of word like or as. Like or as has to be there, otherwise it cannot be a simile. Coming to next, and that is a metaphor. Again, metaphor also is a figure of speech based on comparison, but here, unlike simile, we don't find the use of word like or as. It is basically implied simile. That means here, when we compare two different things, it appears as if they are one. See, for example, the camel is the ship of the desert. It appears as if camel is not compared with ship. Basically, camel itself is the ship of the desert. So it appears that there is only one thing that we are talking about. However, the fact remains that we are basically comparing two different things without the use of the word like or as. Look at this example, one more example of metaphor, a very popular one, taken from the very famous As You Like It by William Shakespeare. Who doesn't know William Shakespeare? Well, all the verses staged and all the men and women merrily players, they have their exits and their entrances. Here, if you see closely, the world has been compared to a stage. All the men and women, they are compared to players performing on the stage. And their exits and entrances here means death and birth. So this comparison has been made, an indirect comparison has been made without the use of the word like or as. Isn't it beautiful? So next time when you find any similar example, you can easily identify that it is a metaphor. Let's move towards next. Point to be remembered. Every simile can be compressed into a metaphor, and every metaphor can be expanded into a simile. Thus, instead of saying, Akash fought like a lion, which is simile, we can say, Akash was a lion in the fight, which is metaphor. Meaning is the same. The expression varies. First is the use of simile, second is the use of metaphor. Coming to next figures of speech, this is personification. Personification, remember children, when you were smaller, you may remember, this is quite common among us all, that our mother, she used to often, sing such songs where, or narrate such stories, or even our grandmother, where moon was called as uncle. What in Hindi you say, Chanda Mama. So, is moon really your uncle or my uncle? Now, that's a question. If not for a child, at least for us. Well, why is it so? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible in language. Here we present moon as someone who has human trait. Yes, and it is possible in stories. It is possible in songs. Because you see just there is a picture over here which says there is a frog sitting, with a musical instrument, just as we human beings do, and pretending to be behaving like a human being. It has been given the human trait. The best examples are the characters of Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. Remember that, Mowgli? Or you can say the tales of Panchatantra, where animals behave as human beings. So, what is personification? Giving human characteristics to an animal, object or abstract quality. That is the use of personification. The wind whispered in his ears. Wind can never whisper in your ear. Whispering is a human trait. But still, it could be presented in this way in any poem or in any other literary creation. It is quite possible in language. Such use of language is called personification. See, for example, this one. Non-human thing plus human feeling. Can you see this is a picture of a pig? The filthy pig. Oh, dirty pig. Smirk in delight. Smirk here means, smirk has a meaning, a specific meaning, that is smiling in a specific manner which arouses scorn. Especially when someone is angry or, very unhappy, and you simply smile in a specific manner, looking at him or her. That is called smirking. So the filthy pig smirked in delight. Smirking is the quality of human beings. If I say you are being judgmental, animals cannot be judgmental. We can be judgmentals. Okay, so all that a human being could do, if it is shown that it is done by animals or other non-living thing or other abstract, any abstract ideas, that it is definitely the use of personification. See another example. The sun played peekaboo with the clouds. Sun is playing just as you children do, okay, with the clouds, as if the cloud is also playing. Maybe playing, or maybe the cloud is the object with which the sun is playing. No, but it is said peekaboo. Okay, fine. If it is peekaboo, that means not only the sun but also the cloud shows that characteristic. Next figure of speech, apostrophe. Well, what is apostrophe? Addressing someone absent, dead or non-human as if that person or thing were present. See, for example, O nature, thou art my goddess. Okay, sorry. Thou art my goddess. Yeah. O nature. It is very clear that the nature is addressed by the speaker. Okay. Thou means you. Thou is archaic use of language. Means this is archaic word which is no more in practice. It used to be used once. Now thou actually in modern English is you. O nature, thou art. Art means are, my goddess. So nature is addressed here. Little lamb, who made thee? Thee here means you. Thee is also archaic word. So here little lamb is addressed. Blow winds, blow. Okay. Blow winds, blow. So here we see that someone who is not present, or someone who is dead, or someone who is non-human. For example, little lamb, non-human. Okay. Blow winds. Winds is also non-human. Nature. We address someone who is dead or someone who is absent. For example, a poet writes a poem and he addresses the reader. At the point when he is writing, he is not having his readers around him or before him, but he is addressing them. So that is addressing someone who is absent. So this is the use of apostrophe. See, for example, this is the portrait of Shakespeare. The example is, for Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel, judge. O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. That was the most unkindest cut of all. Well, if you look here, what is mentioned? O you gods. Gods. you're addressing, gods addressed here. This is basically, it refers to that popular play written by Shakespeare, okay, that is Julius Caesar, which is a tragedy, okay, and it is said over here that Caesar loved Brutus so much, but he met a very, you can say, very bad fate at the hands of Brutus. Okay, so this is here we see that gods addressed over here. Next example, death. Be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. So, what is being addressed, or who is being addressed? Basically, I would say death, which is actually an abstract idea. Okay, it is not anything which has a physical form. It is abstract idea, but death is addressed over here. So when non-human thing or abstract idea, or someone who is absent or dead is you can say addressed, that is the use of apostrophe. One more. O wind, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? So here wind is addressed. Wind, which is non-human, but is addressed like a human being. So that is apostrophe. Coming to the next use of figures of speech, and that is alliteration. I hope it is visible. When two or more nearby words start with the same consonant sound. See, for example, the beautiful blue butterfly bumped into a box. The repetition of the sound B in the beginning of closely placed words, that is B, 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 B. B in beautiful, B in blue, B in butterfly, B in bumped, and B in box. So, repetition of the similar sound at the beginning of closely placed word in a sentence, or the words that are closely placed. Let me give you some more examples, like she sells. Okay, let me use it later. Coming to onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is another figure of speech. Well, here it says a word that imitates the sound it represents. Okay, so have you heard these words like the roar of a lion, or you can see the chim of a bell, okay, like the fluttering sound of the wings. Here it is the splash of water, or the pop sound produced when you eat chewing gum and blow it up, or the bang when you knock on the door, there's a bang, or even the knock knock sound that is produced, that is also. So a specific sound is produced. So here it is said, a word that imitates the sound it represents. See, for example, the use of words whose sound suggests their meaning. Bang, bang. Is it like that? The bang of a gun, the sound produced. The hiss of a snake, the sound produced. The buzz of a bee. The pop of a firecracker. Okay, these are all the examples of onomatopoeia. See here. These are the lines from the very famous The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. I would say cracked and growled and roared and howled like noises in the sound. So the cracking, the sound, the growling, that is the sound, the roaring and the howling, the waves of the sea is producing that sound. So this is the use of onomatopoeia. And here, with this, we end the part 1. I hope all of you understood it, but well, Simply saying this won't help. So time for the recapitulation. Well, and here we go with the first question. Let me see how far you understood. The first one is, if I have to compare two dissimilar things using the word like or as, then what is the figure of speech that I am using over here? Your time begins now. 5 seconds maximum. Yes, absolutely. That is the use of simile. Next, if I do the comparison between two dissimilar things but not using the word like or as, simply as if it appears to be single object, however it is two. So what is that indirect comparison which is more like an implied simile? Yes, two. Yes, absolutely. That is the use of metaphor. Very nice. So next it is quack quack of a duck. Yes, I knew the answer will come really fast. Yes, it is onomatopoeia. Correct. Now coming to this one. As I said, I was about to say this that time, but then I stopped thinking, let me check out. So here it is now. She sells seashells by the seashore. What is this? Yes, it is alliteration. Very nice, very nice. So now moving ahead, next we have I would say, oh death, take me away. What is this? What is this? Yes, it is apostrophe. You're addressing death. Very good. So simile, metaphor, alliteration, onomatopoeia and apostrophe. Yes, very good. These are the 5 figures of speech that we did today. Okay, and before I wind up, I don't know, I feel like asking one more. Well, it is this one. Opportunity knocks at the door but once. Opportunity knocks at the door but once. That it is personification. That also we did today. Yes, personification. When we're giving the human quality to any non-human thing, isn't it? So that is. So finally, with these figures of speech, we complete today's class. Your homework, dear children. And this is here, I would say, well, fine. Just a sec. So, thank you for now. Okay, we'll meet again in the next class with some more figures of speech. Stay happy, stay blessed. Have a nice day, my dear children.